If you wanna find me, yeah, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. It's the best place to be, I'm in the front row. Best place to be, yeah. If you wanna find me, yo, I'm in the front row. Got my 2 tickets on me, I'm in the front row. It's the best place to be, I'm in.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the In the Front Row YouTube channel. This is another episode of Double Trouble for you, and we are super excited to be back. Before we start, go ahead and subscribe down below. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get all of the notifications, and follow us on social media as well at In the Front Row LA, so you can keep up on all of Dustin's dumb opinions on the show.
Wow.
We're gonna.
I don't know which way the camera works when you're opposite. I'm like this.
Yeah,
way.
we're gonna stage left and stage right, as they say. We are going to get into the thick of things because the NBA playoffs are in full swing. 3 semifinal matchups or second round matchups are set. We are waiting for one more in the Western Conference, but
probably end tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bucks and the Nets are set, as well as the Hawks and the 76ers, and the Suns and the Nuggets. Almost forgot who the Suns were playing for a second. I know you're upset about that. So we're gonna jump right into it, and I guess you pick a series. We'll start in the East. Okay. Yeah. We are going to start with the Hawks and the 76ers. The Hawks took out those mighty Knicks, who their fans thought their fans thought they won
at the game,
the NBA Finals. Yeah, Trae Young had a terrific series to take out the Knicks in Madison Square Garden, I believe, right? Or in Madison Square Garden. Well, that was the clinching game. And the 76ers taking out our Washington Wizards.
Never stood a chance.
The season is over. Hey, at least they got a game. I mean, because Joel Embiid was hurt, but it's fine.
He's still hurt.
Well, no, I'm saying so.
Yeah.
Won a game, but they still got a game.
I got it.
So let's jump right into it. Your preview and winner.
Preview. Well, actually, Joel Embiid is still day to day. He's still it's hell of this question. He's going to play in the series at some point. I'm actually. I don't want to do the series first, but I guess we can. I'm taking an upset special with this one. I guess you can start with the headlines, early in the show, get more views because, early in the show. I'm actually taking the Hawks. Reason one is I don't think Joel Embiid is going to be healthy for the first part of the series. I'm going to take the Hawks in 6 because I like the way they're young, but Nate McMillan, who should have never been fired from Indiana, I thought that was like one of the worst firings in NBA history. But that's another show for another day. Is doing a fantastic job in Atlanta. They better give him the job. Like, remove that interim title. They better give my boy the job.
Well, I think out of this season.
Well, no, I'm just saying they technically, officially haven't yet. And I just like Trae Young. Trae Young is built for the playoffs. He's one of those guys that are like his, level raises in the playoffs. He's probably like all-star status in the regular season, but, when the chips are on the line, he is, I wouldn't say an MVP, but he's right there maybe like as Max Cut would say, a 4.5-star player, like in between All-Star and MVP. And I just like what they surrounded him with. John Collins is a fantastic player. If the Wizards are looking to sign someone, as a big man, go get John Collins after this year. He's a free agent. But that's another story for another day as well. But John Collins is fantastic. Clint Capella has given them definitely inside as well. And I just like what they surround them with. They have shooting all over the place. I actually like Atlanta. I'm never a fan of Philadelphia until Ben Simmons. And I know this is the narrative with, Ben Simmons and the way to attack him. But it's not going to cost you against the Wizards if you can't shoot the ball. Like, I'm a Wizard fan, and I'm going to say that. But against these good teams, and Atlanta to me is a good team, but even if they do advance, against these good teams, Ben Simmons is going to learn how to do, or he's going to have to learn how to get a jump shot. With Joel Embiid's questionable health, and Ben Simmons not really being the shooter, and Tobias Harris is having a great season, but can he do it against a good team, not the Wizards? And the Wizards are awful defensively. If you think about it, Nate McMillan has Atlanta playing defense, so Tobias Harris could have gotten what he wanted in the previous series, but a little different this time. I'm taking the Hawks in, what did I say, 7? I forgot already. No, 6.
Yeah.
I said 6.
I think this series depends.
Upset special, baby.
I think it depends on the health of Joel Embiid. If Joel Embiid is healthy, the 76ers will win the series. If Joel Embiid struggles with injury throughout the series, I think the Hawks do have a shot to possibly win the series. We saw how much their team really depletes with and without Embiid. So I think it's hard to make a determination. It's impressive what Trae Young has done in his first playoffs or what he did, I should say, in his first playoff series against the Knicks, and all the hype of New York, and he went in and really was a showstopper. I think that's going to be important moving forward. I just think this series, I don't want to ramble all day, but I think it depends on the health of Joel Embiid. So no, I'm not giving a prediction.
Is that what we do the show for?
No.
You have to give a prediction.
I think it depends on the health.
No, it sucks for me because I did pick Philly.
Yeah, I think it depends on the health. I'm going to assume that Joel Embiid's going to be healthy. I'm going to pick the Sixers in 5. Okay, we're going to move.
Well, I'll say one thing real quick. It sucks for me because I did pick Philly. People are going to look at me crazy.
Yeah.
I did pick Philly to get out of the East. I just don't. With Joel Embiid not healthy, I just don't think there's much around him to get past Atlanta.
We're going to move forward because we have a few other series to talk about.
The ATL, baby.
You're super, super excited about that one. We're going to stick in the East, and we're going to talk about
What's a good one?
The Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks. Both teams really comfortable first-round series. I know Boston took a game for Brooklyn, and Milwaukee sweeping Miami in the first round. But this is a heavyweight matchup in round 2. The Nets, a lot of people's favorite to get to the finals and even win the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Your take on this series?
It's going to be a good one. It's going to be the best conference semifinal series out there. I really, really like if you want to watch, if you're not like, a big NBA fan, watch this series if you watch anyone. I'm actually going to take Milwaukee. I know a lot of people are going to take Brooklyn because they're big three, but they're just it's too much one-on-one against for me, except James Harden. James Harden is the only one that knows how to distribute, around or like pass the ball around, distribute instead of just with Kevin Durant. I know he's unstoppable because he's 7 foot and shoots like 50-some% from the field. But him and Kyrie is just too much isolation. It's not moving the ball like Golden State did back in the day. And I think Milwaukee can defend that. I just think they are playing a Boston team, first of all, without Jaylen Brown. And second of all, who had a terrible coach. I don't know how you move him to the president of basketball operations, but I've ranted about that before. But Boston just doesn't want to stick to their winning ways anymore. But that's also for another show. But I think Milwaukee has the defenders to play a team that plays one-on-one and plays a lot of isolation. We saw, I think Giannis, you're not going to stop Kevin Durant. Like people say, you're never going to stop a great player. But Giannis can do the best to slow him down. I think going to get Drew Holiday is really important because Drew Holiday, thrives on better guarding smaller guards than he does bigger guards. And obviously Kyrie's not the tallest. So I think that actually fits well for Milwaukee. And, if they can figure out a way to slow James Harden down, which they have other defenders like P.J. Tucker, who they brought in, I think Milwaukee probably had the best offseason / making acquisitions during the season in the NBA, if you look at it. Maybe besides Brooklyn, because obviously they brought in James Harden. But I would still give the edge to Milwaukee just because how they improve their team. And I actually think Milwaukee matches up really, really well against Brooklyn, just the way, the style. They say styles, make fights, and I think Milwaukee actually matches up really well against them.
It would be a disappointing exit, hypothetically, for the Nets if they were to lose to the Bucks in the second round. I actually agree with you. I know I've been in this network for, I think, over a year and a half now. And
You actually made a prediction.
I've
seen you on the show before, and I made predictions too.
No, wait, when?
I forget what it was.
We're going to have to pull up
I'm
the
going to bring up the
archives.
tape. Yeah.
I think
it was when you were on with Shireen and Fredo.
For a year and a half, I've been big on Milwaukee on this network, and I've been pushing that they would get further than expected every season before they get bounced out or upset in the series. And I think they match up well. I think this is Giannis' time to finally put a statement in his legacy or a mark on
the NBA Finals.
On his legacy if he can take out a team that is predicted to win the NBA Finals. And now that the Lakers have been eliminated, you're probably even a bigger favorite to win the NBA Finals. So I think I like the way they match up. I think they're more physical. I think they have a bit more depth than they have in the past few years in regards to it was just Giannis versus the world kind of. In that statement over the past 2 years, they've done so well in the regular season. Playoffs are a little more physical. They're a little more, they're different. So I think he doesn't have to play as much isolation. They don't have to rely on him as much. And I like Milwaukee. I think it's going to be an entertaining series. I guess we'll see moving forward.
Giannis going to the NBA Finals. It's about time.
Yeah, and for the Wizards, their season over in the first round.
As long as they don't trade Bradley Beal. I have a quick Wizards all-season plan. You ready for this one?
Oh, God.
It's quick. I won't take too much time. Go get John Collins, because I think John Collins is an excellent player, as I mentioned earlier in the show. I think he doesn't get as much credit as he deserves, and I loved how he bet on himself. I love players who have the guts to bet on himself. And also, biggest free agent signing in the offseason, go get Kawhi Leonard. Why can't Kawhi Leonard?
He's not
Why can't he come? What's wrong with coming to DC? It's a big market.
Not really.
It's like bigger than going to. I don't know. I didn't have a location.
Yeah, but
Not LA, but it's not a small market. It's not like going to Milwaukee, for example, or going somewhere like where Zion is in New Orleans or something. Go get Kawhi Leonard. The Wizards be the best team in the East with Kawhi, Bradley Beal, Russell Westbrook, and John Collins. Woo!
I think you're dreaming. I don't
I'm
know if
dreaming.
Washington's going to make that big of a move.
Who would you rather have as your sidekick, Paul George or Bradley Beal? I'm taking Bradley Beal all day, every day.
I don't. I mean, who knows?
The thing about Bradley Beal is he struggles, or like the label on him is he has to be better in the fourth quarter. So basically, Bradley Beal can carry you for the first three quarters, and Kawhi is coming in the fourth. Perfect.
The Clippers, obviously, in a series still.
Well, they're going to lose in the
Dallas
first round.
and the brink of elimination.
Yeah. Tonight?
Yeah, their elimination game is tonight. What is it, 3-2?
Good transition.
Yeah,
Talk about the West.
Good transition. We're going to move to the West, the Clippers in a 3-2 series. We're going to talk about the Suns and the Nuggets. The Suns taking out the defending champion, dethroning the Lakers.
That's unfair to say.
And, well, I'm just reading the promo.
and reading the promo, like we have a screen.
Yeah, the prompter, not the promo.
Oh, I said promo. I was like,
no. And the Suns taking out the Lakers as well. Now you're me distracted. The Nuggets taking out the Trailblazers. Dame Dollar
I don't want to talk about
out
it.
in the first round for another season.
4 out of the last 5 years.
Yeah, I do love
blow that thing up.
Though. The Suns and the Nuggets in a very, very entertaining series.
Yeah.
If Chris Paul is healthy, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah. I'm upset about Portland.
Remember when people said Jamal Murray wouldn't get, or Denver wouldn't get out of the first round because of Jamal Murray?
Yeah. That's just how good of a coach Michael Malone is. Got to give him credit.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Yeah, no, real quick on Portland, they need to blow that thing up. I'd trade CJ McCollum this offseason. And
we're making a lot of
off-season moves. Yeah, I mean, you always got to think. And I replaced Terry Stotts. I just think that's the two essential things. I just don't think Dame and CJ can win together. And I'm keeping Damian Lillard over CJ McCollum any day of the week.
But don't you want him to go to New York?
I do. But I'm thinking from a Portland GM or like my organization. Yeah. I'm not trading Damian Lillard over CJ McCollum. I would love to see him in a Knicks uniform. Him and MSG. You saw that crowd. You put Damian Lillard on that team.
That would be crazy.
Ooh, that would be fun.
They already won the finals.
That would be better than honestly. It's like Cowboys. Yeah. But no. Let's get back. I actually take Phoenix in this series. I think it's an entertaining series. I'm scared to take Phoenix because these teams are very evenly matched. Plus, it's hard to bet against Denver. They're well coached and never out of a series or out of a game. They're always positive and don't get fit, the moment's not too big for them and anything like that. But I'm taking Phoenix. I'm going to take a 7-game series. I just think this series – I'm just taking a 7-game series because I want to see an entertaining series. And I think Phoenix, with the home court advantage, wins Game 7. Devin Booker is a walking bucket. Can we say that? What he did last night in the first half against the Lakers was just you can't blame LeBron for that one, especially if they're losing AD. Devin Booker was just going off, and sometimes you just shake the guy's hand and say, you got outplayed. So I actually take Phoenix in 7, but I'm not. This is my least. Like if you had those college bowl mania things where you go 35-1, I would put this one at the 1. This is my least confident one, but I'm just taking Phoenix with a puncher's chance in 7.
I like Phoenix. I like that they have the home court. I like that they have a playoff, round under their belt. They've been to the playoffs or the West Semi since 2010. But I think they've been to the playoffs more recently than that. I'm not sure. Yeah. But I think
it's 11 years.
But I think they have another. Or for people who got drafted by the organization or like Devin Booker, now they have playoff experience under their belt. I honestly, it's not like a layup series either. They had to play the Lakers, which obviously they won last season. I know the complications of the injury. I know the Anthony Davis injury and the complications of Anthony Davis. But still, it's a team. So when Anthony Davis was in the series, they were still in the series.
If Anthony Davis was healthy the whole series, the Lakers win the series. Can we just say that?
I don't know because I think I know LA fans are complaining when Chris Paul was hurt earlier in the series, people were complaining that's why Phoenix lost. Yeah. And then when Anthony Davis got hurt, they're not really spinning the same narrative. I don't know because when Anthony Davis was in the series, they were still in the series. They won Game 1.
But they lost Game 2 and 3.
Yeah, but they
got hurt in Game 4.
They were competitive, is what I'm saying. were in the series. I don't
Stop
know if
it.
you can exactly blame it. It's obviously
Stop
a big piece of the puzzle.
The Lakers win if Anthony Davis is healthy, but credit to Phoenix.
Injuries, you can't.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
No, yeah.
happens in sports.
Anthony
stuff.
Davis gets hurt when
Yeah,
the wind blows the wrong way. So.
They still, the Lakers still very
Mhm.
a challenging team in the first round. It's not like you're going against a team that snuck in the East or something.
No,
But
I like
think,
Phoenix.
yeah, I do like Phoenix. Obviously, Denver is very, very well coached. I like Devin Booker. I like his aggressiveness. Jalen Smith is from Maryland, and he's
Not playing, so why you
I
bring
don't
that
know.
up?
I saw something on Twitter earlier.
He gets 0 minutes.
Yeah.
He plays as
I
many
just
minutes in
wanted-
the playoffs as
I
I
just
do.
wanted to give a Maryland shout out.
You should have shouted out Kevin Herter when
Oh,
Atlanta.
yeah,
She's
true.
a better shout out than
I don't know why.
making buckets at MSG.
It just
getting
came,
those
it
big
just
threes.
came, I just saw a tweet earlier and it came to my mind. Jalen has nothing to do with the show.
Or the Suns.
Or the Suns.
Well, he does, but you know.
Yeah, but Devin Booker, the tenacity I saw from him last night was impressive. Anyway, I like Phoenix. I
How
like
many
the team.
games is it going? 7?
I like it to a
7
7. I think
Yeah, me too.
it's going to be a very, very competitive series. We're
Mhm.
still waiting on the other series, obviously the Clippers and the Mavericks.
Yeah, but we can always be like,
that's
you
what
know,
I'm saying.
they're going to play Utah. So take
Yeah.
Utah against one of those two teams.
I think
You can go
Dallas.
first this time.
I think Dallas will advance. I think they'll
Yeah, it's
advance.
going to blow up Kawhi. He's
I
coming
think
to the
they'll advance
DC area.
tonight. And I like Utah to beat either team, to be honest. I don't think
Really?
it matters if it's the Clippers or the Mavericks. I think with
That's
Donovan
interesting.
Mitchell, they are rolling. They have their team finally back and healthy, and I think they're the
He's
number
a
one.
stud.
I think I've been saying that for my tenure here.
I've always said that too.
I
just
have
don't think they
like
enough
3 or
besides
4 big players or teams that I've been on for
Yeah.
a while, and he's one of them. And
Yeah,
I
you
think,
should get rid of the Celtics with that one.
I don't know why. I'm still hanging on to that bandwagon for some reason. Boston has a rude too. I don't know why I'm like so passionate about
Like
that.
I like Jalen Brown. And
I
Jason
do
Tatum's
like.
a stud,
I think I like
but-
Jalen Brown more than I like the Celtics. Like it's a player thing.
Yeah,
But I think I like Donovan Mitchell. He's one of those players that I really like, and I think they're the number
do
1
too.
seed for a reason. They're going to have home court, and things will start to open back up as we continue throughout the playoffs. And well, I think they have a bunch of fans in Utah anyway. Yeah.
No, they got some fans.
Yeah, they have some fans out there.
The only state that doesn't have fans is LA.
I
Or the
think-
city, I guess. The state.
I think regardless of who they play, I think Utah advances.
I'm gonna disagree on this one. This is interesting. I'm thinking 2. Well, I'm gonna say the Mavericks advance
Yeah.
because it's gonna make my dreams come true that Kawhi leaves LA because he knows Paul George isn't the sidekick that he needs in a
He's not
playoff
the
run, and he's gonna come to DC. No, I'm actually taking the Mavericks to beat the Jazz, and I'm gonna tell you why. Luka, they always say like stars even out, right? And I think Luka, I love Donovan Mitchell. I think Luka's on a different level. It's like the same thing as Trae Young. I think Luka's on a different level than Donovan Mitchell. And so basically Dallas has the better star. And if you look at Dallas's roster compared to Utah's roster, I'll take Dallas's roster any day. I know people aren't going to agree with me.
But who's going to guard Donovan Mitchell?
They have 3-and-D guys like Dorian Finney-Smith. That's what Dallas is built on. So you take one guy out of the series, and like you said, you're never going to stop a star. You can slow him down. Dorian Finney-Smith is a great defender. And I just like Dallas's roster at the end of the day. If the unicorn can actually play like he's the unicorn, I'm talking about Kristaps Porzingis. I like Dallas's roster because I just think they have a little more depth, they have a little more talent, and when I've always stuck to this statement, you can agree with me. When you're paying Rudy Gobert a max contract, you're not an NBA contender.
I mean, they are the number 1 seed in a very
I
difficult
don't
Western
care.
Conference. I like
It's cute. The regular season is cute.
I'm just saying.
No, I like Utah,
They
but
earn their
I think
way.
Dallas is a little more
They earn
talented.
their way there, and I will stick with Donovan
And I do
Mitchell.
like Utah because Dwayne Wade's a part owner, and Dwayne Wade's my guy. So
Yeah,
I know he's going to take care of Utah and get
Yeah.
them another star, get them another, Donovan Mitchell a sidekick. But I just think Utah is one piece away. I just think they have Donovan Mitchell, and that's about it.
I do. Before we wrap up, I do want to talk about one more thing. Well, I also want to say now that it's the off season, maybe LeBron can come on and do the one.
So who's
video
going
with
to the
me.
finals for you?
Oh, sorry. What?
Who's going to the
I
finals
was trying
for
to
you?
get ruining my LeBron James invitation here.
I mean, he is in the
Now,
off-season.
that's what I'm saying. Now that he's in 1-2-3 Cancun or whatever they say.
For LeBron.
No, but now that he is in the off
Yeah.
season, he can maybe
Yeah,
relax.
'cause they
and
say he
come
doesn't
on
look at his phone during the
and
playoffs.
do a wine video. Yeah. Now that you're actually looking at your phone, please do.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was your question?
I said, who's going to the finals for you?
I think it's difficult. I'm trying to think of because then you have to predict the Western Conference Finals, and then you have to predict and the Eastern Conference.
I'm stuck between Phoenix and Dallas. I'm going to take Phoenix. I'm going to say it's going to be that's an odd finals, though, but it's going to happen because that's just where it's going. I'm taking Milwaukee and Phoenix.
I actually like Utah. I think I'm going to take them to get to the finals. And I think
that Phoenix Dallas series kills me.
I think it's.
I can see
I think
Luka
the
in the
winner.
finals. I can see Luka in the finals.
I don't know. I thought it was going to be the 76ers. I'm just concerned. If Joel Embiid's healthy, I would love to take the 76ers
That's my only
to get
reason.
to the finals.
I took the Sixers in the preseason. That's my only reason.
My concern is he's going to get injured or
Don't
not be able to come back
healthy.
100%.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the winner of whoever wins the Milwaukee-Brooklyn series. So I think Milwaukee and Utah. Wow, those would be two boring locations. I know people are sorry, no shade to Milwaukee
Adam
or
Silver,
Utah.
let that happen.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, now that things are starting to open back up and, like, bigger companies
not
are
gonna
able
let
to
that
travel,
happen. Yeah.
that would be, oh, my.
I'm actually going to take Dallas. I'm actually going to take a Milwaukee Dallas. I'm changing. I see Luka in the finals. Like, he's a finals,
He is a finals
type of
caliber
star.
player.
And with things already open in Dallas, that money talk.
Yeah, obviously, a lot of basketball is still to come, and we are super excited about that. We'll see if our finals predictions come true. We do. Oh God, you always say that. We do want to discuss one more thing here on In the Front Row before we wrap up, because a serious issue happened over the weekend, and we want to discuss it. The French Open is currently going on right now in the tennis circuit, and we want to discuss what happened over the weekend with Naomi Osaka. Just to catch up to speed before we discuss it, Naomi Osaka originally put out a statement saying that she would not speak to the media in the French Open because of mental health reasons, and that she would pretty much take the fine and hope they would give it to mental health research and institutions. And then after a lot of backlash, Osaka, in my opinion, was forced kind of to withdraw, but she made a personal decision to withdraw. Obviously, I will say, because I don't want to speak out of turn and for her.
Yeah.
But she made a decision to withdraw from the tournament, saying it would be better for the tournament and for herself to take time away from the court, which is unfortunate because she's a phenomenal player to watch.
Best in the world.
Yeah, we want to discuss it. Obviously, mental health is a big thing in sports, outside of sports, but this one obviously has to do with sports. Your reaction to everything that happened, going from not speaking to the media to withdrawing from the tournament.
Yeah, it's tough for me because I always have a heavy heart when it comes to mental health and people getting their mind right and people, staying on the right track. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm saying staying on the right track. It's tough for people and people who it's tough. It's always tough for me to bring it's not tough, but it's harder for me to discuss these issues because when you struggle with like depression or anxiety like myself, and it's hard to like talk about because like, you get emotional and you get you don't want people to judge you, I guess, and not that you should be judged, but you don't want people to judge you. Going to Naomi now, first of all, and I want to make this very, very clear. I wish she gets herself like the help she needs and she gets herself right, and that's the most important thing. Like, I don't want to say screw, but like screw the French Open drama, screw the media attacking her for obviously not wanting to speak and taking a fine, all the backlash she got. Get yourself right first. Like yourself, that's the most important thing in life. Don't really care what other people think or other people would say about that. It's tough for me because you don't know what you don't know what people go through until you actually deal with it yourself. And I can only imagine, because obviously currently I can say I've never dealt with being famous or I've never dealt with being a public figure. So I can only imagine having depression or having anxiety and having everybody around, feed into that pressure, I guess is the best way to say it, and feed into some, your anxiety or feed into your depression, because obviously everyone knows her because of the fabulous tennis player she is. She's coming from a point where, when she came out with that letter with her depression, since obviously like that big tournament or that big match with Serena at the U.S. Open, and obviously you don't really know what depression feels like until you deal with it. Like you feel like everyone around you like doesn't think you're everything or anything, and you feel like if you do go ask for help, especially you feel like it's a weakness. You feel like people are looking at you and being like, oh, like this kid needs help, like. And mostly it's the people who don't deal with mental health issues who judge the people with mental health issues, and they look at them and they're like, oh, like she can't handle this, and she it's not like meant for her, whatever. And I just felt really bad for her, to be honest. Like it pulled on my heartstrings a little bit because like I was like, damn, like she is struggling, and in the middle, you're basically kicking someone when they're down. Like in the middle of her struggling, you're attacking her for not wanting to talk to the media, and she got a lot of backlash. And at first, like I said, I didn't really notice, but all she asked was if she could just take the fine. She didn't. Yeah. It's not like she didn't do anything bad. She was like, hey, like, I'll take the fine. I'm totally okay with that. I just want to play tennis, you know? And, like, to me, it was really tough because I'm like, you're really going after someone who said, hey, I'll, like, take the fine. And I've been, like, you know, the media makes her struggle in her life. And I just, I'm sorry, I'm being nosy.
No, I just wanted to confirm something in her statement. Continue.
No, yeah, no.
I want to make sure we have the right facts.
No,
here.
yeah. And it was just, like, it was hard for me because I was, like, people don't understand, and I always want to bring mental health to the forefront. I think it should. I'm actually really happy with a lot of athletes who are coming out now. Like it kind of started with DeMar DeRozan, well in the NBA, and then like Kevin Love came out with his, and like more athletes are comfortable coming out with what they struggle with now. And I actually really like that. People don't understand, and I want to make this very, very clear for people who don't understand. Depression isn't a choice. Depression is not like I want to wake up one day, or like I want to wake up and like feel depressed. Or like I want to wake up and have anxiety. That's not a choice. That's like something someone struggles with. Like depression is an actual sickness. So to me, if you can't have enough empathy or enough sympathy for someone who's struggling with that, I don't know where your brain is. Like I don't know where, you know, you're thinking. Cause like, it's not like she woke up and was like, oh, like I want everyone to feel bad for me. Like I'm going to have depression today. Like people don't understand depression is a sickness and depression comes and goes. It's things. It comes in waves. Like some days you wake up and you feel really good. It's not like you feel bad every day, but there are those days where you hit rock bottom and you feel bad, and you know you feel like no one's there for you. And I don't know. I just want to make this clear to end it and to wrap it up. Excuse me. The most important thing for her, and obviously coming from me, is I just hope she gets better and feels better. And like I said, depression's not going to go away. Like she's always, if she does struggle with it, obviously she came out and said she has been, it just doesn't go away. And that's what I think people struggle to understand, because it's not like it just goes away. It's not like you have it for a month and it's like a short-term thing and it just, the wind takes it. Like it doesn't go away. So I think what we need to do, like wrapping this up, what we need to do is like support her, because it's always going to be there. So support her, give her a lot of love, and be actually understanding for once, instead of just, you know.
Okay. I
agree.
I do want to say, and before I get into my point, I do want to go back to her first note because I don't want to misquote her. And anyway, in my opinion, it seemed like she was going more after the organization than the press. I do want to say that. She said, quote, "I've often felt that people have no regard for athletes' mental health, and this rings very true whenever I see a press conference or partake in one. We often sat there and asked questions that we've been asked multiple times before, or ask questions that bring doubt into our minds. I'm just not going to subject myself to people that doubt me." She went on to say, me not doing press is nothing personal, so she wanted to make it to the tournament. And a couple journalists have interviewed me since I was young, so I have a friendly relationship with most of them. However, the organizations think that they can just keep saying do press or you're going to get fined and continue to ignore the mental health of the athletes that are the centerpiece of their corporation. Then I just got to laugh. And she said, that's when she said she hopes that the consider amount she's going to get fined will go to charity. She also wrote another note saying, this was her second note when she was saying she wanted to, or she was going to withdraw from the tournament. She said, this isn't a situation I ever imagined or intended when I posted a few days ago. I think now the best thing for the tournament, the other players, and my well-being is that I withdraw so that everyone can get back to focus on the tennis that's going on in Paris. She said she never wanted to be a distraction. And that's when she said that she went on to say the truth is, she said, more importantly, I would never trivialize mental health or use that term lightly. The truth is that I have suffered long bouts of depression since the U.S. Open in 2018, and I've really had a hard time coping with that. And then she said, so here in Paris, I was already feeling vulnerable and anxious. I wrote privately to the tournament, apologizing and saying that I would be more happy to speak with them after the tournament. And then she said, I'm going to come away from the court, but when the time is right, I really want to work with the tour to discuss ways we can make things better for the players, press, and fans. And then she said, just stay safe. I want to make myself clear on this. I think her backlash was unjustified. I think you do have an obligation to speak to the media and understand that comes with the sport. But I think the backlash from people who aren't involved in the sport and commenting and giving her such hate was ridiculous. And I think I think, in my opinion, she was pretty much forced to step back. I know she wants to get herself better, and I really pray that she does get herself better. And I think, because if you read the beginning of her note, she said she wants to step back. She thinks it'll be better for the tournament and herself. I think that I want her to get better, and I want her to take time away from the court to get better, obviously. But if you don't go through mental health issues, you don't know what it's like to face that anxiety or depression or whatever you go through. And I think people are so quick to stigmatize and so quick to judge. There's certain days I know we're not as big as her, and I can only imagine it magnetized to a level. But there's some days you don't want to do things that you're required to do. And I think that, you know, she was just making a statement, and she was just saying, hey, I think it'll be better for me personally and my mental health, because I weren't speaking to the media. I'll take the fine, and hopefully you'll give it towards this. And I think that so many people jumped her case without knowing her situation. And I think that was unfair to her. And I think that was, you know, and if you're on that level, it can be very, very difficult. And I just really, really hope she gets better. And I hope that she takes the time away from the court to obviously and come back even stronger than, I mean, she's a phenomenal player. But I think it's really unfair for people who don't go through mental health issues to judge people in mental health issues. I think unless you really, and I know a lot of this world does go through it, but I think if you do go through it, you should be able to empathize with her to realize what she's going through. And I think if you don't go through it, it's very difficult to judge if you actually don't go through.
No, I agree with
that.
It's just
the mental health side of it. So I mean, we just wish you get better.
No, of course, and that's the number one thing. I think. Yeah, no, and it's funny to me because like she was willing to like take the punishment, like willingly. Like she was like, hey, I'm just gonna take my fine. I don't want to speak to the media. Why don't you just let her go play tennis? Like she literally was like, hey, I'll technically by the rules or whatever, whoever makes up the rules just because they have a title, but that's a discussion for another day. That's where she gets into talking about you said like the organization, not the press. But she was willingly just being like, oh, I'm going to take the fine. Like, why are we giving her backlash for that? She was like, oh, like, I'll take the punishment, basically, which I don't think there should be a punishment there. But she was like, I'll just take the punishment. Like, it's a lot of pressure for me. Let me just go play tennis. And the part that really, and I wanted to bring this up because I feel like this is like how some people operate nowadays. Someone always has to have a problem. Like, no matter what the situation is, minor, major, obviously hers is on more of a major level because obviously the fame and the public figure and, you know, obviously everyone knows her. But even like minor situations, why does, and I would say it's only major because of the publicity, but to me it's really a minor situation. Why does everyone have to have a problem? Like why couldn't you just be like, okay, she took the fine, just let her go play tennis? Like, why does there have to be a problem in there? That's what I don't understand.
Well, I think the issue, and I think someone mentioned it on ESPN the other day, I think the issue with that particular stance is, will players start using the system? So if you allow her, she's going through, you know, mental health issues, and it's very stigmatized. But I think where, you know, if you do, I think that's why she hesitated to come out with it at first, because it's very, but I think then you get into the argument of, oh, well, individual players on tour or in other sports say, hey, you know, I can't speak to the press, I'm not up to it. Well, because you got people use the system. And I think that's where that issue would come into play.
But my rebuttal to that would be, if they're willing to pay the punishment, which you put the rules in place, and they're willing to pay the punishment and just move on, they're technically, like, I guess good if you want to say, because they're paying what they had to pay to skip the media day.
The
I guess.
other side of it, and I'm not saying I agree.
No.
But the other side of it is, if you're an athlete at that level, you have the money, you pay the fine. So you just you get into, oh, I'll just pay the fine every tournament, and I don't have to speak to the media. And you don't get a lot of these media networks who put on these tournaments don't get a lot of exposure from these
honestly
terrific players.
Talking to the media most of the time, and I'm just gonna say like about the tournament. I know people do, like people like, you know, like we've talked about like Jaylen Brown on this program, who use the media in a great way with, like, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement and, you know, stuff happening in America, and he's done a great job at using because even he's gone in the post game and
Yeah.
was like, hey, I'm not talking about the game, I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
And I think that's fantastic. But also, let's be honest, and I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, but 90% of the time, do you really need their media statements? They'll go in and be like, hey, Kyrie, or hey, Jalen, what do you think about? I'm saying they're the same questions over and over again, and they're giving athletes give the general answer that they're trained to give.
Yeah.
Most of the time. So do you honestly really need a media statement of all my team did great today? It was my teammates. They were passing me the ball. Come on. Honestly, no. I love when they can use. No, I love when they can use the media to talk about issues, and that's what you get in the Kyrie debate too, because he wants to talk about. Yeah. And I'm saying this in a good way, and I back him for this. He wants to talk about more significant issues because people give him crap, I guess I'll say, because he said, there's more significant issues than just playing basketball. And people took it as, like I said, always having a problem. People took it as, he doesn't care about basketball. Obviously, he cares about basketball if he's out there and playing. But I like when people use the media to, bring issues to the forefront that need to be brought to the forefront. But if you're complaining about someone not going to the media to talk about, my teammates did great today, they were great, they played great defense, they really put me in the positions to thrive. Do you really need that statement? You get that statement over and over again.
I just think we need to find better policies for athletes' mental health.
That's what you're punishing her for?
I think we need to find better policies. And like she said, I'm glad that she's willing to sit down basically at the table and be like, hey, I want to work with you to make this better. Mm-hmm. And she's looking for a solution. That way we hope she gets better. Guys, we're going to wrap it up. I know we ended on a heavy note, but go ahead and subscribe and follow us, and we'll see you next time.
Yo, I'm in the front row. Got 2 tickets on me. I'm in the front row. The best place to be. I'm in the front row. Best place to be. So what's colder than ice and even hotter than a flame? I'll be in the front row chilling out.